Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would do two things on the video. The first thing, I just wanted to cover over my mistake in the challenge and show you a new test chassis, and then I'll get going on that carrier. I'll put in a timestamp. If you don't want to see this part, I'll put in a timestamp to go right over to where I work on the carrier, trying to get the control tower area built up. So to start with here, this is the creation I showed on the last video, thinking that I had it right, and I was wrong. I was corrected in comments right away, and I appreciate that. So what I got wrong on this is I thought a core 2 was one basic and one improved core added into the ship, and it's not the case. Core 2 is basically your main CPU core, which you got to have on every single creation, plus one basic core. So that's a core 2. So I got it wrong. The numbers on this one are invalid. This one went up to 625,000 CPU. Without that extra improved core in there, it would only go to 400,000 CPU, and that just basically makes this whole thing not correct at all for the challenge. Although kind of an interesting build, I kind of liked this one a little better. But of course, more CPU, the merrier, right? So here's the next test chassis. Now this one is correct. If you take a look at the CPU, this one is at 400,000 CPU. Currently, it's using almost all of that. And what this one has on it for parts is I've got start with thrusters. It's got 6 forward medium thrusters, or 1x2 thrusters. It's got 2 thrusters in all other directions. So 2 lift, 2 right, 2 left, 2 reverse. It has an advanced shield generator. Your pentaxia tank's right down over here. Has a detector. Weapon loadout. It has 2 laser cannons, 3 positron turrets, and 1 rocket turret. And that's pretty much it. That consumes all the CPU. So looking at the numbers here, and the numbers are going to be pretty invalid for motion and things like that because there's no chassis here yet. It's just some carbon blocks, on a pedestal. So it's not really a ship here yet. So any of the numbers you do see here are going to drastically drop in their performance speeds. But right now, even with those 6 1x2 thrusters on the back of the ship for forward thrust, which is his definite best stat, it can only achieve 115 ms, which is I think 120 would be technically max. However, I mean, this is going to drastically slow down. Probably these numbers might even be cut in half before the ship is actually done. So this would be, I would estimate that it would come out to somewhere between 60 and 70 ms forward with the current configuration if there was actually a ship here. And that's a bit problematic. So one thing I did want this creation to do is to be able to do max speed in space. There's a lot of reasons for that. One, to get out of battle and live, and 2 is if you're chasing down an enemy ship that can do max speed, you're going to need to be able to keep up with it, or it's going to get out of range, and you're just going to have a lot of problems from that. So by looking at this test chassis, there's a flaw I think I've got, or an improvement that can be made with the thruster performance, and actually a little bit with CPU as well. So if we take a look at these 1x2 thrusters here, they are 7,500 CPU apiece, and each one's doing 7.5 mn in their force. Now check this out here. Also, before I move on to, I did test this. It gets to about 62% energy usage when it's flying 3-direction flight on the planet while charging the shield. Now, one other comment in suggested testing the weapons as well at that same phase, and that is a very, very good point. Actually, you would want to test your weapons. Weapons are going to use some amount of energy too. In this case, it's got enough extra energy where I don't think the amount of turrets on here would cause a problem. But yeah, you should test that as well, definitely. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove these, all 6 of them. Keep in mind they're 7,500 CPU apiece, and I'm going to put in one of these. Now, one of these is 40,000 CPU. So this is actually cheaper than the 6 of those, CPU wise. And now if we take a look at our numbers, now we're doing 170 forward instead of 115. If we take a look at the CPU, it dropped by 5,000 CPU. So that's a win-win. And let's take it up again, make sure there's no power problems. Again, I'm not testing the weapons, but I got like quite a bit of extra leeway there with power generation. And I probably will test the weapons once I get around to testing this a little bit more thoroughly once there's a ship here. But flying this around like a madman, all directions, I can get up to about 60, it looks like 68% power usage is about the best number I've been able to achieve there, or the highest number I should say. And that works. So I think, generally speaking, this is kind of what I'm steering at for parts on this particular Core 2 Combat CV Challenge build. Except I'm a little iffy on the turrets and things like that. You know, what I wanted was, I know a big qualification is you're going to have to get the enemy shield out fairly quickly. That's why I wanted these laser cannons in the mix. I used positrons because they could both shoot shields and the hull. And they're relatively cheaper turret than some others. And then I got the one rocket turret on here because, well, I wanted something that could hit the hull kind of a little bit more hard as well. Once the shield is down, you do want to try to get some good hull damage in place too. I don't know if like that one rocket turret's going to pull that off or not, but they are quite a bit more expensive than the positrons, but not expensive enough for me to get rid of this one and put on 2 positrons. Well, maybe. Hold on. That is a possibility though, because I got an extra 5,000 CPU, more than I had when I last tried this. So hold on, let's just see what happens here. Let me turn off the shield again, and I'll get rid of the rocket turret, and I'm going to try to pop on 2 more of these and see how the numbers play. They don't play. Okay, that's what I thought. It wasn't enough to swap out turrets to go with 2 of a smaller type turret. That's kind of why I had the rocket turret there in the first place. But plasmas are too expensive. Plasmas are more money yet. And actually, let's put on a single plasma. Okay, those other ones are off. And this is really going to blow the CPU now. So, yeah, 408,000. So that doesn't work at all either. So this is pretty much it. And I'll have a little bit of extra CPU for, I guess, utility stuff. You know, not that it would take that much, but, you know, maybe for a fridge or a med bay or something like that. A little. Reforged Eden doesn't really charge you much for storage or ammo storage or anything like that, so that's not really a big concern. So this is kind of where I'm at with the new test chassis. And again, I apologize for screwing it up on the last one. Just kind of curious on your thoughts on this. I think I'm going right by trying to go with the single larger thruster here. I think that's a win-win. I can't justify using the larger thrusters anywhere else, though, because there's not enough CPU for it. So I got to pretty much do that. In fact, these are 7,500. Yeah, I don't have 7,500 additional CPU left to even add one more of the little thrusters anywhere. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Maybe you know, I cut these guys too and just try to add more positrons. Maybe make it a positron rig. Each one of these are 21,500 CPU, where a positron turret is 25,000. Even one of these is more expensive than those, so I couldn't really get rid of. 5,000. Hold on. One last little test thing. I don't know what would be better though, to have 2 more positrons or 2 of those laser cannons. But let's see if we had one here. And again, this is just a test mock-up. I don't even care if they're in the right place or not. What does that do for CPU? How did I lose so much CPU from that? I put on the right turret. These are positrons. supposedly 25,000. I just added 2 of those and removed the 2 laser turrets, which were supposedly 21,000. How did I lose CPU in the process? Did I remove something else by accident that I didn't realize? I'm a little confused here now. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we only got 5. Oh, the rocket turret's not on there. That's why. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, hold on. 25,000. No, I need 50,000 for that. So could add 1 more of these. Let's see, what does that do for CPU? No, we can't. What? Oh wait, I added a plasma. That's why. Duh. Let's get the turret straight here. Where are my rockets? There's rockets. So 1 rocket instead. That's still a little bit over. Yeah, I think the original format with the laser cannon is probably better. It fits in the CPU a little bit better too. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with this. So anyway, moving on. And again, last time, sorry if I misquoted what the challenge here was about. So on the carrier, I worked on more of the flight deck. I got a lot of that in place. I'm tweaking it yet, though. I've got some problems. I gotta make these runways go a little bit deeper and get these lines a little bit better. And I got mistakes from one side to the other. And I was trying to figure out the spacing between the lines, what I thought would look good. And so I determined that I have like 2 blocks with line and then 3 blocks no line, 2 blocks with line. And I started it differently, and it's not coming out right. So I got to kind of redo the lines on both flight decks and try to add some more stuff into the mix there. But kind of get an idea on what it's looking like. I spawned a few Skaar creations on here just to park them around, SVs and stuff like that. And they all kind of fit on the runways. I did decide to make the runways not break up. And have like an indentation in, like split them up into smaller runways. I guess it didn't really make a lot of sense to go that route. I was just trying to add some detail, and it's kind of tough, to get a lot of detail in a big flat area with 10-foot voxel blocks. It doesn't give you a lot of leeway there. So it does have some cut-ins yet, but they're kind of off to the side for individual like landing pads, but they're not enough to disrupt a CV. If you took a CV and the landing gear happened to fall right on this crease, it's still cool. It's not gonna screw up. It's not gonna like not land or something like that. So it's just those indentations are just kind of going down this line at that point out. So hopefully that all works out. So at this point, this is the last area of the ship to really get done on the hull, and been kind of wanting to get this done because then I can say the hull's mostly complete. I get some detailing and tweaking after the fact, but it'd be mostly complete. So looking at this area here, to start with, I was kind of thinking of like design, like I wanted to get something going on over here, and what I was thinking about doing is having like a little section over here, kind of like maybe a couple little pipey things, or make it look like some kind of machine that kind of covers this general area. Have this top area kind of separate from that, and then kind of all join up and fill in some more buildings and things back over here, and then also accommodate somehow for a like a radar tower kind of thing. It'll actually have a functional reforged radar on there, but also, I don't know, maybe some antennas or something like that to look cool. You got to have that, right? So anyway, so let's get going here. I have a way of talking a lot. Don't mean to. Well, kind of, but I just never shut up. So let's say we did something like this here and kind of rounded off that corner a little bit. But let's see, at this point, this is going to be the top of where the bridge is here. Let's try to do some pipey things here. I kind of wanted this to look to come out this way and then kind of like swoop down. Here, let's do it with blocks first, and then take a look at the pipes later. I don't even know if the pipes are a very good idea or not. Probably not. So what angle should this go down at? Yeah, let's go down at the same angle it comes up at. So we got 3 blocks in between. I usually like to do that if I can, but I don't always have, again, a 3-block center, even if it's just a small part like this. It just allows you to have that one center block, but I don't always do that. Sometimes it will have a 4 or 6 block or an even number as well. Okay, so we got that. So on the inside here, I wanted to get some kind of detail going on here. So this is actually 4 blocks. Yeah, oh, I used this shape instead of the other shape. Oh, I want to fix that right now, just so it's going to come out better. So it has to start with that one, not the smaller version first, and then go down this way. So something like that. All right, so that's going to give us 5 blocks across here. So let's do a formation that can fit in 5 blocks, which is pretty easy to do, actually. Start out with making like a frame here. Wish there was more options on these kind of wedge blocks. You could go this route, or you could go kind of like this route, and I think that's the only blocks that really work for trying to do like an angled frame piece around the area. Well, now I wonder if I shouldn't just have a door there. That would be a likely, probably a good location to have a door. Or a door could go back here too. That'd be a little interesting. But yeah, that's in the pipes now. I'm not really sure on how I could even pull that off. There's one idea. What if I took, say, one of these and put in a half-block pipe converter kind of thing. And let's, maybe I should, here, let's go over to carbon. I'll have to put a backing wall behind this if I go this route. So we go to there, and then we go downward. And let's put in a bigger piece here to split it up a little bit. Okay, and then in this area, I'm honestly thinking there's going to be another wall behind this, which is going to actually be steel. So that's why I'm using carbon on this layer. Let's try a deco of something or other. See what can fit there. There's a few different deco pieces I think that can fit there. We got this, we got that, a couple of those. I think that could fit too. I think this could fit. Let's try one of these. No, this won't fit. That is 3 blocks. How about one of these? It's not really super big, is it? Yeah, that's fairly simplistic for now, but let's put a inner wall in here. And that block would probably need to be that way too. But we already got a steel block there, so I'm going to put in kind of a mock-up carbon block behind that just to keep the weight as tight as possible here. And let's put in these corner blocks as well. It's very difficult with steel texture to determine if I got it rotated the right way or not. Often I get it wrong and have to fix them after the fact. Because basically I want this inside layer to be a separate surface than this outside layer, so you can independently texture that inside and change the color and things. It just looks a little better that way. So over here, I'm thinking this would be a great place for a door to get in this area. And I haven't really been using these doors with Skaar because, I don't know, they look a little too sophisticated for Skaar, but I do actually kind of like them. What just happened there? Alright. Oh, but these doors suck. Kind of. Yeah, this is going to have that problem. So, okay, we can't go with that model, and because of the tightness, I also cannot go with this model because it would also have the same problem. Well, I guess the only door that would work there is this type that doesn't have that issue. You know, I could have a different kind of door in some location. I was trying to avoid doing that. I guess one other thing I could do though is extend this block row out another layer. So you put that there. Whether the formation's even or not really doesn't make any difference. Everything else is kind of just generally off on it, just because. So with that angle there, I could put in, I think, either of these other doors. I could go up, and that would no longer cross out through the blocks. Or I think it's enough where I could even go the other door too. All right, so we got a little something going on there. This top row here. Now let's take a look at this. Let's angle this layer here with these blocks instead of the full blocks. And then I'm gonna create a problem over here on this side because I extended that out. Yep. Now we don't have a block that'll fit here. Yeah, we'd have to go with this one. That's actually what's on the other side too, is it? No, I got the angle wrong here. That's good to correct that now at least. Okay, so it should be this angle, not that angle. How does that play out with the door? It's going to screw up the door, isn't it? Yep, that'll screw up the door. All right, well. Okay, so this is going to have to come out one more then. Like that, and then angle down, matching the front angle, so at least be kind of uniform. And then pop in a substrate here in the corner. And I reached level 8. Woohoo! Yeah, it keeps doing that. It's scary, actually. It's scary. All of a sudden, I'm like working away, and all of a sudden it goes ding, like it telling me that I gained a level for I have no idea what for. But I gained a level. I'm level 8 now. I haven't shot anything. I haven't picked anything. I haven't done anything. So I guess you get a little bit of experience from placing blocks. I would assume, or I don't know. Or maybe I'm pissing off one faction by building here, and that's making another faction happy. I can't exactly explain why I'm gaining levels. It's just interesting. So that's not so bad there. Now, the next part, though, is this has to kind of... this block's not supposed to be there, so let's put in the right block here. And then I kind of wanted to keep like a trim layer here. It would be nice if I could do it in half block form and not a full block form, though. I kind of wanted like a little layer between this part and the other part to make this piece look more separated from this piece on purpose. But the thinner that layer is, the more convincing it would be, I think. If it was a full block, it would look a little too much. wonder if there's anything I can lay over the top of this that would work on these angles. I think there is. I think there's something here. This is a half block. And that actually does work there, doesn't it? Okay, so let's convert over to steel. Again, put in a bunch more of these half blocks here for now. Up into that point. And then we'll do all this trimmy stuff with carbon. And could try to get some kind of little weird detail-y stuff here. There's not many options for blocks, so it's either you got this, you got that, or you got that, or there's this. I mean this. Yeah, you know, I did a little bit of this in other parts of the ship. It can kind of work out. I don't know if I want to do it all the way across. Let's do 4 of those, and let's just fill it in on these last 2 here. Oh, it's got that little, I don't know, rivet thing going on. Again, just trying to add detail. It doesn't have any, you know, anything special that makes it better by doing it this way. I think that could be kind of neat, though. You can do some little trickery down here, too. I could actually try to make this look like it kind of like rounded off and connected to it. Maybe if it went like this in the one corner, would you even see it enough to make a difference? Not really. What if it just went with a straight curve? So it could like do that there, and it could technically do that here. Something like that. Well, let's see how it works out. Okay, so more of these half steel blocks. I'll try to mix and match those blocks up a little bit more with detail, but I just want to see how this whole contraption is going to work out here for now. Okay, so here we've got kind of a window, which this is kind of interfere with, isn't it? Okay, so let's turn it before it gets to that point. Let's turn it here. Put in like maybe one of these, and maybe a second one of those, and just kind of leave that part open, or like the window's kind of cutting into it a little bit. And you know what? I'm gonna I don't like how that's sticking out over the edge over here. So maybe I'll can it with the round here, and we'll just go with another shape. Could kind of do that. How does that work on this side? Not so well. Okay, so not that block. How about this block? This block would line up on that side. And kind of keep that little bit of area over the edge. Okay, so I think that's a better choice there. I don't think there's a block that, you know, would do this angle and then go into a square on the bottom. In fact, there's not really any blocks like that at all. Okay. So now this part here, I kind of got the bridge kind of so it doesn't go out further this direction, and I kind of like that shape where it's obviously it's doing this 45-degree angle and a further distance on this side than it is this side. I kind of wanted it to be that way because I didn't really want it to be like symmetrical on both sides here. So I'll keep that, but I wanted to get something going on over here to add in some form of detail. Just not sure what yet. Something thin. obviously there's the thin block that'll fit this part. Like that. And then that would give you the option to add in some of this little, a few different blocks that can kind of work on for a surface detail area over the edge at least. So we add in like 3 of those, and we'll go to a full block for now, or a thin block there. Let's back that up with some steel blocks. And these would be all steel in here too, I think. Again, the whole point is I'm trying to get like a line of separation between all this stuff. Try to make this look more like it's its own piece. Okay, so back over here. Now I've got some other, these blocks, I guess that actually already lines up, doesn't it? I don't know if I was going to keep that or not, but it sort of works. So here we could try something else too, but I thought about putting in like a wedge block there instead of these full blocks, but I don't think that's really going to work out very well either. Now I got this big kind of platform off to the side here, which could be, I might have some part of the bridge that does kind of overlook the flight deck though. That would make sense, I think. What if this was something else? If it just jogged out here randomly. And jogged out for, say, 3 blocks between the 2 of them. And that would allow for some kind of window or something going on there. Okay, so here, probably should be glass right there, shouldn't it? Let's rotate this around. Try to, oh, there it is. Okay. I got that going on the outside. I don't know. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, this is the ongoing bug too. I guess it hasn't been corrected in the last 5 months. When you rotate stuff, it often disappears, or some certain parts disappear, like glass, for instance. That would have to be steel at least. That's gonna be really weak there. These, how many hit points do these things have? 234. What's a full steel block do? 750. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think the glass is even stronger. I placed that back window wrong. So what? How many hit points are the glass? 600. Yeah, the glass is quite a bit better. I didn't want solid glass here though. Alright, so what if we had that and we did something just strange over here? Let's, no, we got a thinner one yet. Let's add in a couple of these thinny blocks. Yeah, I know, they're not very strong though. So we got a little bit of fluctuation there, and then we've got this little area that sticks out, and this one here, this would be another place to potentially add some glass. And yeah, I know this would be a great opportunity for the fancy glass. It's just I don't think it's very fitting with Skaar and fancy glass. But I guess it doesn't really matter. So we did that, a couple of those, and something in the middle here for be a full block, I guess, but we'll get to that when we get to the interior. Okay, so now, how do we do the ceiling on here? It's kind of starting out really thin on the front, but I kind of wanted to raise that up somewhere in here. But I didn't want it to do it all of a sudden, though. I kind of wanted to kind of ease into the raising up to this height. So what I'm thinking is maybe at the very front, like one, to keep it thin for just a little bit, at least on the sides. And then I guess we got this as an option. So we could kind of get that up to a half block here. That should play all right over there. And then maybe it stays at half block until it gets to another section, and then it goes to the full block eventually. Well, we'll see how it works out. I have this problem every time I do one of these bridges. I'm trying to keep it like kind of thin and slender and stuff like that, but then at some point in time you gotta make it go up a full block typically to get stuff on top of it. So not that bad. It's not that bad though. Okay, so these guys here, there is this, but there is not a thin support piece to fit in the corners of these. I don't think. I'll double check that though. Yeah, it's missing that block to fit there. There's some other block that can line up to this. Obviously you could use, like, if I wanted to go straight here, I could use this block, which fits, but I can't turn it the other way to have a corner here. So it kind of makes this block where I almost never use it because it doesn't have all the support blocks for it. So let's not use that block. Let's try, I guess we'll just go with the square one. Like that, and then I don't have to have that. And it can work again. Okay, so somewhere, let's past this point, let's add like something up on top of here. It could be a turret position even, but I don't know, just something. I don't really want to put a turret here because it's too close to the bridge. But could kind of have something kind of stick out like this. That kind of gets it up to that height, which would match this back part. If it, okay, this might work. So we've got, let's do some thin blocks here, or half blocks. Just keep it pretty squared off. I do want to do something with the edge though, because that is really boring. Oh. If I did that, it would come into that. That doesn't fit quite right. That block doesn't need to be there, but yeah, I want to find a better block solution for this. This is it's bugging me a little bit. How about this? This can do it. I think this can do it. This might be the answer. This one does have the support blocks to make it work. And then, yeah, there's even the little corner piece thing if we want to put that in there. And let's have that go out over the edge too. We'll add a little trim piece here. Something like that. Now it's still pretty boring. I don't know. You know what? I think I should just have that a window too. Okay, so we want to get something going over the edge here to add a little bit of detail. And not to mention how this block textures there too. It'd be nice to cover up that one edge that was going to texture the same as that edge. And then you got this independent on that side, so that should work out. We'll put this over the top of that. And we got this little line already going there, so let's just mimic that line so it kind of looks, I guess, fits together a little bit better. So maybe like that there. A little bit better. Okay, so on this part, and the angled pieces on that side. Just thinking about if I want to just keep it straight like this, or I think there's another formation we could do as well. I mean, that's okay right there, but let's try to add in. This is centered here, so we got a 3-block width here. So let's try to back that up a little bit differently. Let's say we put in one of these here, and then one of these guys on the sides. Oops. No, that's not going to work. No, that's not going to work at all. These are good for some things, but not for that. I would need a block that would be kind of inverse with that angle that could be squared off. I don't think that exists either. No. Alright, bad idea. Let's keep it thin. Okay, so let's try one last thing. I don't want to quite give up on the other block idea. Just want to see if it can work out better in a different situation. I don't think so though, because even if I did this here, there's no block solution for these parts over here besides this one, but that's going to leave a hole in the ceiling, which doesn't work. So yeah, never mind. I could though just leave that like that, put this one as thin, and have that little jog out there on that part of the ceiling. I don't know if that's a good thing or not though. It's not horrible. Okay, so now these blocks along the front and sides, it'd be kind of neat to get a little trim going on there too, but let's take a look at what other options there are, or lack of. Yeah, I do wish. I mean, sometimes there's certain blocks and things in here. It's like missing one or two of the pieces that you would really need in there to have it like a full set. It's like, so there's a breakdown. It's like, okay, you got this part and this part, but you're missing this part and this part. So that makes these other two parts not work near as well because it doesn't have the other support blocks to make that all fit together as a nice little thing. It would be kind of like having your main angle set miss one of the angles in the mix. Like maybe not have maybe not have this block in the mix. But there's other like angle sets that are or different block combinations. Like this one over here, it's got some pieces of this, but then it has this breakdown, and it's just like, no, I'm not going to give you a corner one. I'm not going to give you the other pieces to go with that. If it did, you could do far greater things with the blocks and make better use of these, but it's missing the other pieces. I don't think there's any other options here either. I'm looking at this, and there's no alternatives. If I hop into this grouping here, there's just the one that goes up to that, and then there's this guy here. This one's kind of neat, but I don't know. Maybe that could work. Maybe that could work. Maybe that could look nice. It's weird. It's weird that they got this block in the game, and they don't have the ones to support the other sets in the game. But this one, there is a corner piece for this. So this could actually work. And because of the proximity of where this is, I'm going to do these little trim blocks in steel here too, because we're right at the front of the, the main pilot seat. Now I might have a secondary bridge somewhere, probably will, but I'd rather make it a little bit stronger there. Not that that would make much of a difference at all, but big question is that all going to look good though? Let's put in these side pieces here too. So we're kind of in formation with this is centered with that, and this cuts off at this point where this side doesn't cut off. So I'll tell you what, I think this just needs some straight up thin blocks. Right there should be a half. And just go around like that. We do have a place to put something here too, so we could put, I mean technically you could put a turret there, or it could hold the radar, but I was kind of bent on trying to put the radar back a little further over this way. Okay, so how are we going to join this up to that, or are we going to keep that? How about, what can we do with this? Nah. Why don't we turn it this way? Nah. Nah. This is how it was, but that's weird because it jogs up there. I was trying to get it to come upward this way. Let's look out of the box a little bit. Let's see what we can do with one of these square corner things. Does that look neat? Maybe. So, don't mind that. I just wanted to get that other block out there. And you know what? That's just not the right option for a block. Let's try, how about this one? This one lines up to that side better. Doesn't match that angle, but that's okay. That all can be changed. Oops. Okay, mark centered. This would have to be something else here, which is okay. Just taking an overall look on what it's looking like so far. Trying to figure out if I like it or if it needs renovations here. Here, I'm gonna just plot this in, mass fill it with white texture here. not so sure about these little blocks now. At least I want to change the formation of them. I'll try that first, and then if I look at it another time and it hits me as I don't like it, then I'll find something else to do here. I do that a lot. I'll try something and I'll see if it sticks. And basically, you know, if every time I fly by that area of the ship and I look at it and it looks out of place or not quite right to me, I'll eventually just scrap the idea. But if I start to like it, then I might keep it. That's kind of how I do things a lot, you know, because you don't exactly know sometimes until you get like more of it done to know if you're going to like a certain thing. And this little pipe thing, I don't really like this actually either. It's I don't know. I got an idea though. Try one thing. This is one of those things. I'll see if it sticks or not. You know, I'm going to try one other option here to kind of double it up to see if it that helps at all. And turn you down. Let's get rid of that full block there then too, and let's put in just keep thin pipes here, I guess. That do anything? Not really. Let's try another formation. Let's say, oh God, you know, I've been doing this over and over again. I'm trying to find some different options here, but you know, I thought, well, you know, I could just pretty willy-nilly just throw in a pretty mundane-looking tanky thing here over here, which usually works. But I don't know. Try this too. See how it works out. It's just I've done this in a lot of different other places on the ship already, and I was trying to mix it up a little bit more. And if I did go this route, though, these could be steel, and I could lose these three. Oops. Well, why not just do that now, then? I could lose those backing blocks, and these could be steel here on this row at least. Probably one of the blocks in the upper row. And maybe put something a little unique on the inside here. Oh, something like this that has a cutout plus a backing wall. And then put back in the frame trimming blocks here. Any better or more mundane and boring? I don't know. One of those things might get revised again, but let's just keep on going a little bit more. Of course, I'm always worried about video links and stuff like that too, but get just a little bit more done here. I'll probably do the rest of this off screen because I want to get it done. It takes a bit to upload videos and stuff like that, so. Just trying to follow that same angle around the side here. Okay, so now, since this angle was all changed around, this doesn't work over here anymore. So again, probably all right. It's not really a big deal at all. Okay, so the angle so this is coming down at a 45. Is that, it's probably okay. I don't mind the 45 here. What can I do with the blocks to make that work, though? I think this guy here can do it. Oh, no, that would come down at a 22.5 if I went that route. Could be interesting. Let's see what happens. So it's got dual angles there because the inner was never deleted yet, which I was kind of planning on deleting, but now I'm kind of curious if it works. If two opposing angles there together like that could function. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna draw this across. I'm still trying to keep this part centered. With where the actual window, the front cockpit windows and this are. So these components are staying centered where everything else is kind of all over the place. But it's just trying to keep that uniformity into like asymmetric stuff, so it doesn't look too awkward. So over here, I'd want the same blocks I used on the other side, which are those weird ones here. These guys here. I don't know though. I don't know. I'm starting to look at that, and I'm starting to think it's looking a little bit too bulky in that area. I kind of wanted it to drop off and then come up in a little bit higher and skinnier into like a radar tower kind of thing, and then kind of meander back down. By the time it gets down over here somewhere, but I also got to make sure that I do not block this thruster here. This is symmetrically placed to the thruster on the other side here. I would prefer to keep them symmetrically placed like that. Yeah, I don't know about the dual angle here. What if the top of it was cut off? So I had a little jog down at this row, and then somewhere on that other piece it builds back up again to the idea of the radar thing. Again, just an idea too. I can't say for sure if that's going to be the hot ticket, just trying stuff. Okay, so I can almost fit a radar here, but I want it a little more elaborate than that. It's going to be a highly visible part of the ship too. Anyway, I think at this video I'm going to stop it right here. It's probably getting a little bit too long. You kind of understand what's going on, and I did get a lot of it kind of sort of worked out at least. I don't know. Again, I think it needs some tweaking, and I got to do the other side over here too yet. Sort of coming together, but yeah, again, I think it's going to need a little bit more work going on here and some other things like that yet too, obviously, but it'll hopefully come together. But at least another chunk is done, and I'm going to try to finish up the rest of this stuff today, if I can, and get it textured, and then I can really be pretty happy actually getting the hull mostly done and fixed up and things like that. That was not colored correctly. I also I didn't really show this, but I did kind of go over some of these building fronts a little bit, and I added a little bit more, a couple blocks. There's some damage blocks in here now too. I started doing a little bit of that in this area at least, and just try to get a little bit more detail, try to make them look like they're kind of like individual buildings that are kind of slapped together. Like a building here, and then like this little alcove thing, which is probably going to connect to this part, and then this is like another little building over here, and then obviously you get into this area over here where the bridge is chilling out at. So there's a bunch of like I don't know, almost like businesses on the sides, like shops and stuff, like up on the hangar, or I'm sorry, the flight deck area, and that's kind of what I wanted. I kind of wanted this to be a bit like a city. Not a big city, but just a bit city-like for commercial stuff as well, and I think that would work out. Now, obviously, there's a huge amount of room in the ship to put a lot of stuff, but this is just stuff that would be up on the flight deck. But then of course you got to have your main control set up and other stuff too. So I don't know. It's proportionally speaking, it's sort of all right, but I think there's I got some more work to do here though. Not sure about this back angle here. I think it I don't know. Got to work something out. I kind of want. I like the little jog down here, but I kind of want like some steel framework that's kind of maybe even see-through to build like some kind of like tower here where the radar gets mounted to, and who knows, maybe even a couple turrets, or you know something, even deco things possibly. But I don't know. And I think that'll work out though. And then back here, I got to figure out what's going on too. I kind of wanted to have something going on over here too, other than a flat flight deck. So I'll have to work that out too. But other than that, it's yeah, it's coming along pretty good. I got the interior is going to be starting pretty soon. I'm going to try to do a video on the interior layout, and maybe one or two of the rooms I'll try to do in video form too, as I get to them. So it's an ongoing project. It's a big one. It's going to take a while, but it's a lot's been done already. Really happy to get it to this point, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. We'll see how it all works in the end. I'm sure it'll work. I mean, it's going to be pretty high on size class. It's not going to be free. But it'll have a lot of room. It'll as this kind of ship, you know, as a carrier type of ship, production carrier kind of class. I think it'll do well for what it's supposed to be. It's never really going to be a high-end combat ship or anything like that. It's just not set up right to do that kind of thing. So anyway, you all have yourself a great day. Sorry I didn't get as much done as I wanted to over here, but this stuff, it just takes a while. It's not like I built any slower than I normally would here. This is pretty much on par to how I typically do things, and often I make revisions along the way and change things and try things and look at things. And like this, I'm already looking at it again thinking, well, I might cut it and try something else over here again until I find that one thing that I like more than the other things. I'm just trying to add uniqueness, trying to, you know, any surface area that's like too flat for too long, I'm trying to like cut into part of it, but I like to leave some flat areas and then other areas that are busy, and kind of a mix between the two. If everything's super busy, then it usually looks just overly too busy, and if everything's too flat, it looks overly too flat. And if you can kind of do half and half or some ratio there, I think they tend to look a little bit better. Anyway, you all have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you later.